Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome back to my coughing all day, every day, whatever. Well, welcome back to Factory Town. We have, well, we're almost there. We are almost there. Probably, I'm going to do some more work after this episode, and then we will have all 50 goods done. And then I just got to do some tweaking on the times, but you can see I finished all the food. All the food is done. The rich food and the normal food is all done. So I'll show you that in a sec, but I will show you my fantastic stone brick setup. Look at this, that's just amazing. Yeah, I decided just to go for the stone brick. This is on a 10-second timer, which isn't actually enough. So we're going to tweak that later, but I really need to start getting on the tweaking stuff. So actually we'll put that down to 7. We got enough carts here. This backs up fast enough, hopefully. So yeah, 7 seconds. We should be able to manage that. If not, we can always improve this incredibly easily. So yeah, 7 seconds. Might have to, I think I'll convert all of the rail spokes to be magic rails. It just makes so much sense. So we added some stuff over here. I added fruit juice. I was going to reuse these berries, and then I was like, nah, that seems to be a little bit crazy. Reusing this for the normal fruit and for the fruit juice, it seemed to be a little bit overburdening one farm, although this farm isn't doing too much. But still, I had tons of workers, so I was like, yeah, just make another one. And if we run into trouble with the this for whatever reason, we can pull out of this farm as well. So I did that. This you've already seen. This is my massive sandwich thing. This you've already seen as well, I think. This is cooked fish stew. I think I showed you that last time. This one is new. So this is meat stew. So we got over here the 2 vegetables, the carrots and the potatoes. That's not really a problem. Nice little set of fire shrines. And here we have beef. So these guys do take 4 animal feed. So like leather, they are a major pain in the ass. It was actually really not going fast enough while it was filling up these barns. So that's why I put the second setup over here. And I actually forgot to plant the grain for a ton of it. That's not good. Grain. Let's do that. Now that it's fully backed up, this is kind of superfluous, the second setup. But I might as well leave it there. I mean, workers is not a concern, so we might actually get, I don't think we'll get below 400 workers, but we'll definitely get below 500 for the final setup. So yeah, so that's meat stew and cooked meat, which we need both of. And then we got the final setup over here. So we got apple pies, we got cakes, and we got eggs. Now, if we have a look at the recipes down here, where is it? You can see that apple pies and cakes are pretty much identical. The difference is apple pies need apples and cakes need eggs, but both of them need 4 flour, 2 sugar, and 1 butter, and some heat. So it made a lot of sense to build them right next to each other. So we got the apples down here. That's pretty simple. We got the eggs over here. So eggs are basically just chuck in some flour, animal feed, and water. They don't provide fertilizer. I guess chickens don't poop enough to produce fertilizer, but the farm doesn't need it. So we chuck out the eggs, and then we push the eggs into the cake setup. And then we've got this stuff down here. So what did it need? 3 different goods, I think. So, we got the sugar over here, just a single farm, which, yeah, doesn't need any processing, so a single farm, more than enough. A belt going in here, and then another one going above and going into the other kitchen. Then we've got the grain mills. So you've got a farm. The farm converts 3 grain into 1 flour. For some reason, I seem to remember it being 4, but maybe it was always 3, and I get confused because this needs 4 flour. And the bread needs 4 flour as well, or something like that. Does it? I think it does. No, it only needs 1. Okay. Maybe I'm just getting, I don't know where I'm getting that 4 number. I could have sworn the grain mill needed 4 flour, but maybe I'm just misremembering. So anyway, I have 2 of these setups, because as you can see, it uses a fair bit of the old flour. So I've got a setup here, and I've got an identical setup over there. And then I've got 2 setups for butter. I did have one setup for butter that's just split in the middle, but it turned out to just not be enough. This milk was so painful. Like, you get 2 animal feed to make 1 milk, and then you got 2 milk to make 1 butter. So that's basically another 4 to 1 from animal feed to the viable product at the end, which was, it was just too much. It was too much for both of them. So I duplicated this process again, and yeah. Oh, by the way, I've got this up to 600%. I did a whole bunch of research in the background, and it's up to 600%, so that's excellent. And I've turned off the infinite research right now, actually, so no carts trapped at the end there. So the infinite research is turned off because I want the carts to be sending all of their goods into the middle, okay? We're not aiming for 5k when infinite research is running, because if 2 of these decide they want earth ethers at the same time, then earth ether is gonna go down. It's just guaranteed the happiness is gonna plummet. So right now we do not have anything going into here. I mean, technically they could be dropping goods off, but they're not going to, unless the goods are actually needed. And I didn't put a rail stop in there. I just said, you know what, I'm just going to turn the collect bonus off, and then these stop. So I could manually hit the button and they'd start up again, but collect bonus is nice, because if you turn that off, then it ends at a number divisible by 100, where if you turn off the rail stops, then it could end forever, and I could have 5,213 just staring at my face for like the next hour or 3 hours or whatever, which would be annoying. I want it to be a round even number, because I'm kind of anal about this sort of thing. So anyway, that's basically, so if we have a look at the goods, we got all the food done. Some of these are very not fulfilled, like the eggs. We really need to, I think eggs are at 10 seconds at the moment, but we need to really boost them up, because apparently we need a lot of them. A lot of them are just stuck at 100. Well, close to 100. I think we can boost these up as well. I've had 18 seconds for a lot of these goods. I think I'm going to put them globally at 15 seconds. For all of the rich goods, for all of the specialist goods, for all of those goods, 15 seconds. And hopefully that's enough to never let it drop below 100. And then of course we got stuff like stone, which stone is already at 10, and I think leather is at 10 as well, but they still have problems. We got these 3 goods: shoes, nails, and wooden axes. Shoes need nails, so these will go together. I'm not sure what wooden axes need, but I don't think they don't need reinforced wood, so they should be pretty easy to make. And then we got this: protein shakes and medical wraps. Now I believe the medical wrap is going to be a pain in the ass. Protein shakes I don't think are too hard though. So if we go over to here, we just have a quick look at these recipes. Where we got protein shake, milk and eggs, okay, and sugar. That's definitely doable. That's not a problem. The medical wrap will be a problem though. There's no workshops over here. No, that's a kitchen. That's a farm. Here, no, that's more kitchens. Where are all my workshops? I don't want to build another one. I just want to look at one. Ding, ding. There we go, workshop. So, medical wrap. So requires poultices, which is herbs and bandages. Okay, so that's doable. It's annoying because herbs are red coin using, but I guess it's a blue coin item, so it's going to be annoying. Then the other one is cloth, which is incredibly easy, and then ointment, which we're already making. No, well, we're making over here. This process needs to be redone. I mean, can be redone anyway. I mean, it's using way too many workers, so it probably needs to be ripped down. So I think that's what we'll actually do. I don't know if I got enough room here for the medical wrap and the ointment, but I think I definitely want to rip this down. Just at this point, it's doing okay. It's keeping up, but it's just it's kind of the principle at this point. We want everything to be fully optimized, and we definitely do not need all of these buildings. So let's delete all of you guys. Yeah, all of those old belts. Do not want to see those old belts. We might keep this station. And yeah, this thing's kind of in the way. We could get rid of that because gold turned out to be a non-issue. And then we could... Oh, I guess I didn't delete these guys. Oh, no, that's the wrong kind of delete. Whatever. We'll just get rid of them anyway. And just chopped a hole out of that thing, but that's fine. So yeah, maybe... So we'll rebuild ointment. At the same time, we're rebuilding the medical wrap. And the protein shake, I think, can have its own station. So make that bigger. I love how we created water under ore before, and nobody ever noticed it. Like, it didn't have any impact. Like, you would think if you pull the land down, like if we have a look here, mana shards. So I'm going to go, let's make it nice and deep. There's still mana shards down there. What the hell? Okay. Very interesting. It's almost like they're on a different... Maybe they're not directly under the ground. Maybe they're way under the ground, like really, really deep. It shows them as being... I mean, this is a grid, so it's not really giving you depth, but... I guess the implication is that they're very, very deep under the ground. But then again, we don't need to build a mine shaft to get to them. We build a mine shaft to trigger them to grow, but after that... Okay, so all these carts are going to head off and do their thing. Okay. Let's finish. I got tons of gold lying around everywhere, so I don't need more. Okay, so this is going to be where we build... let's just put the workshop down. Workshop. So this is going to build ointment, actually. Well, medical wrap will be around here somewhere. And we'll also build ointment and feed that into here. And then we'll build blah, 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 blah. And then the other one... The protein shake, we'll just build that wherever the hell we want because it doesn't really need anything. And then we're good. Everything else is done. So it's these last 5 goods are the only ones we're missing. And we're 4260 out of 4500 total. So we are getting very close. Very close. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set all of the goods down from 18 to 15. And then we're going to build the other few, set them all to 15, except when they're like stupid ones, like milk and stuff, where even 10 isn't low enough. Then we're going to set those to like 7 or 5, maybe 5. 15 for the high level ones, 5 for the low level ones. And then we're just going to come back and we're going to be fixing the things that fall over, I guess. So, yeah, that is going to be that. But I can't believe I was worried that we were going to run out of workers. I guess we were worried about them, so we went for the Omni Stones, and then the Omni Stones fixed everything. And that research is just so incredible. That upgrade is so incredible. And it forced us to get unlimited Omni Temples as well. Well, you know, self-sustaining infinite research. But yeah, let's look at it, 600%. That is just nuts. And the game handles it well, which is very awesome. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really feel like building more stuff on camera anymore. I could, and if I had feedback that people wanted me to, then I could make decisions, but nobody watches my videos, so it's a bit hard to do that. So I think we'll just leave this as a short sort of summary, and then when we come back, everything will be built. Everything will be going into the middle, and that will be when the real battle starts. Look at this. These houses have just got so much in them. Wow. Probably because we have been... It's weird. I don't know, because houses have got so much in them, but they're still dropping down, like 98. What do we have to do to make these stay at 5,000 indefinitely? Do we have to go to like 10 seconds for even the rich goods and like 3 seconds for the minor goods? I mean, what sort of stupid things do we have to do? You know what we are going to do? I think we'll do it right now. Is we're going to be fixing all these to be magic rails. Not really necessary, but it'll reduce the total amount of... I don't want to do... If I start doing over there, I'm going to have to fix all of them up, and that's going to be a pain in the ass. So let's just push this a little bit. I guess we don't have to worry about carts being crashing into each other and stuff. But the thing is, carts... I mean, there was a big slowdown in the middle when they all shared the same rail. Potentially, we could have the same slowdown on these belts if they're all merging in, like down here. And like that one was almost a slowdown. Yeah, so the only... we could do magic rails all the way down, and it would save us a bit of carts. Now, if performance of the game was an issue, maybe I would. But now I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Just this grass just does not grow, does it? There's still that gap where we used to have the rail. That's amazing. Way back in the day. Let's just get rid of that. So we go to tools. We remove the grass. And we're going to remove this weird cross pattern as well. Go away, weird cross pattern. We need to trim the hedges to look a bit more natural. There we go. That looks alright. And... also get rid of the grass off here. Do not want grass too close to the path, because that makes the path look weird. Anyway, so we are pretty much done here. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done. I'm not going to turn the research on again, because I don't think we need it. We could always use some more... crop growth speed, but this is kind of my template here, the book production and the forest, because everything else you can get fertilizer, and this is never going to run out once you give it fertilizer and water. But the forest, you can't give them anything, you just got to deal with the size. And if these guys, the book production isn't backing up, then I think we're fine, because that's pretty much the heaviest use of wood in the entire game. And right now they're doing fine because they're backed up. So yeah, that's pretty okay. How are we doing on books anyway? This looks pretty solid. See, so we want the green line to be up around here, I think, as high as possible. I don't think we can guarantee the green bar to be full, but if we aim for full, then I think we can avoid ever losing happiness, ever dumping the happiness below 5,000. So yeah, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the next Megabase I got planned, because I definitely got another Megabase, and that is going to be, I think I've talked about it before, but just to reiterate, the next Megabase is going to be the same goal. So it's going to be the same goal, whereas it's going to be infinite research, fully automated if we decide, and it's also going to be 100 houses, 5,000 happiness maintained. So it's going to be exactly the same goals. The difference is everything is going to be very specifically modular. So there will be a section of the map, some sort of square, that will be its own area, and that'll be the only place where we make grain. Okay, and there'll be another place somewhere on the map, and that'll be the only place where we make animal feed or something like that. Now we might be bending these rules a bit because the sheer amount of throughput that we need from the farm to the grain mill might necessitate that grain cannot be a transportable good. It just might be. But we're going to attempt it. We're going to go for it. We're going to see how that works. Definitely things like leather. They're going to be made in their own section. And things like books going to be made in their own section. Things like these mana crystals, wherever they use, they're going to be in their own section. So, if anything that we make wants an iron bar, it's got to get it from the one spot. So there's only ever going to be one spot making iron bars, which means that planning the base is going to be incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. Which is why we're going to do it on creative mode. So, otherwise we have to naturally level stuff up and naturally do research and have all sorts of... We basically have to build a base and then rip it down later because it's completely unusable. And you can't really start off with a heavy modular base for a normal gameplay. Although that would add a challenge to start off the base. No, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. So you need to scale things based on the total need of the 500. So of the 5,000. Sorry, you need to. When you're building that sort of base, like this sort of base, we can sort of faff it a bit because we got room for improvement. We can move around stuff. We can do stuff. Blah 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 blah. When you're making a modular Megabase, the type I'm talking about, you kind of need to know what you need in advance. There's not a lot of... It's very hard to expand because let's say you have a big old grid like this big, from there across to there, down to there, and across up. And you say, okay, I'm going to do grain here. This is the only place I'm going to do grain. I'm never going to do grain anywhere else. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough for grain. Maybe it's not. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to get this base to 5,000. I'm going to get it idling at 5,000. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to catalog everything. I'm going to write down how many farms I had. I'm going to write down how many pastures I had, how many grain mills I had. I'm going to write down a whole tree. I'm going to do it up in Excel or something like that. And I'm going to say, okay, we had 70 grain farms and 30 of them were used for like cloaks or something. I know 30 wasn't used, but you're going to say, like, for cloaks, what did we need? We needed one workshop, one grain mill, one pasture, 2 farms, 1 workshop, and then, you know, like, so this would be like 1 workshop for cloaks, 1 cloth. So we just say 1 cloak producer, 1 cloth producer, 1 cotton producer, 1 grain, 1 animal feed, 1 pasture. And then we put them all together, and then we come back and we say, okay, we're going to need 12 workshops producing cloth from cotton, something like that. And then we build a modular station with 12 workshops. And then we need to figure out logistically how to get all the cotton into that module. Like, have some sort of rail system that gets a ton of cotton into there. And then we got the workshops producing the cloth, and then we got to make sure that the cloth gets out to the right spaces. So where's the module? Do we even need a module for cloaks? I'm not sure if we would have a module for cloaks, so there's just one building, but we'd have to figure out how to get it to a place that does the cloak production, and that sort of stuff. But definitely the cloak production would not be where the cloth production is. It would be a completely separate module. Maybe we just have like you have it's a Factorio concept. I think Catherine or Sky invented it, the mall, where you basically just throw a crapload of goods in and it just makes stuff. Although I don't think the mall would be very easy or helpful in this game because you don't have robots to transport stuff around. You've got to rely on carts and mine carts, and it'll be mine carts for everything again. So maybe we'll just have a common area with all of the red coin production. So you would mine cart in the cloth, and it would go to 3 different things that are all needed for red coins or something like that. So like a red coin module. That's probably not a bad idea. And then maybe we'd split it up sometimes. We'd have like a book module that does all of this stuff. Like it takes in the enchanted books and it does all this stuff. Or it takes in normal books, who knows. But anyway, module-based if it gets down to like a single building needed to make something, then you don't have a module for a single building. But if you've got like 3 or 4 different buildings over the entire base making reinforced planks, then if it's a common good, then yes. If it's a good that's needed for something else, then yes, it has its own module. So ward is a great example of something that's not needed for something else. It's not a good that's used to make another good. Enchanted books are, so they'd probably have their own module, but the stamina spellbook would not, because that's not reused. So I think that's kind of what I think that's a good rule. So anything that's used as an ingredient for something else and is not just fed into the market needs to have its own module. I like that rule. I really like that rule. Okay, so that's probably where we'll be going. But I might be getting ahead of myself here because, geez, that's going to be a challenge, getting the mines, getting a mining section, because all that underground space that's going to be required. Maybe if we do like mining, it'll just be easier to have like 4 mines just surrounding above ground goods and just have an earth shrine in there or something. But I still got to figure out how research works in creative mode. Maybe you just hit the button and it goes up. So yeah, look at all of this food coming out. This is just awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. Anyway, okay, so I think we've talked enough about the Megabase that I haven't even started yet. So let's go forward and let's finish this one off. We definitely don't have to worry about coins anymore. I've been a little bit worried about... I'm a little bit worried that red coins might start to take a dive after we do all those blue goods. But you got to remember, the other 3 goods we haven't done are red coin goods. So hopefully that should be enough to keep them high. And honestly, I don't think anything is going to stop them from climbing at this point. I think they're just over the moon at this point. So, yeah. Next, when we come back, all 50 goods will be produced. And I'll have put the timers down. Yeah, I think... So, yeah, all these fancy goods, we'll put them down to 15. And the ones I know that are problematic, like these eggs, I'll just put them down to... I keep hitting that and not seeing. 5. Can we put it down to 5? So that's 4 items per second. To do it at 5... To do a 5... This needs to be running a 100% speed all the time, this belt. I don't think we can do that. I think 5 is too low. Let's just do it at 7. So 7 and then 15. Okay, I think that's a good benchmark for these guys. And hopefully that'll... We may come back next episode and it may just be stuck at 5,000. But I doubt it. Something's going to break. Something is going to break. Something is not quite going to be able to handle 18. Not quite be able to handle 15 or something like that. So we'll just see. Cooked meat. How's... Oh, this isn't cooked meat. This is butter. How are we doing? Whoa. Oh, they added this new worker overview as well. I don't use workers, so it's not that helpful to me. But what do we got? Eggs, I put them way down. Milk needs to be... Butter's doing okay. So maybe butter can be a rich... Technically, I think it's a rich food group. Sometimes it's hard to tell, like this one. This is at 10 at the moment. So we'll set that down to 7. And then this is already 15. Chicken drumsticks. Okay. I'm not sure that that's a rich group, but we'll leave that there. Probably need to be fixed later on. And these are all milk. That needs to go down. That needs to go down to 7. Okay. Okay, well, it's keeping up with it. Okay, so I'll do the rest later, I guess. I'll finish off these food ones and then this is going to be a 7. Be nice if there was some sort of global display, but then again, these are just random timer blocks that I made up myself, so can't expect them to be, you are fruit juice, I guess you can go down to 15. Okay, so we'll fix up all the other ones, and then we'll build the other ones, and then we'll come back and we'll see how close to 5,000 we are. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys later.